The flashing red and blue lights appeared in my rearview mirror just 3 blocks from my daughter's elementary school. I sighed, eased my old pickup to the curb, and glanced at Emma in the back seat. She looked up from the drawing she had been coloring. "Are we in trouble, Dad?" "I hope not, sweetheart." As a widowed father, I had learned that children measured safety by the calmness in a parent's voice. So I smiled, even though my stomach was twisting into knots. Money was already tight. Another ticket meant choosing between paying a utility bill or replacing Emma's worn-out sneakers. The officer approached with confident steps, sunglasses hiding her eyes despite the cloudy afternoon. She looked young, maybe in her early 30s, her brown hair tied neatly beneath her cap. "License and registration, please." "Of course, officer." She examined my documents before glancing at me again. "Do you know why I stopped you?" I was probably going a little over the limit. 42 in a 30. I nodded honestly. "You're right. I was trying to get my daughter to school before the attendance bell." Emma leaned toward the open window. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "It's my fault because I couldn't find my homework." The officer's serious expression softened instantly. "It's not your fault, honey." She stepped back to her patrol car while I stared helplessly at the steering wheel. Every minute felt longer than the last. Emma quietly reached over and squeezed my arm. "It's okay, Daddy." Her faith in me somehow made the waiting even harder. Several minutes later, the officer returned holding the citation book. She looked at me for a long moment before speaking. "I've noticed something." "Oh?" "I've seen this truck around town." I blinked. "You have?" "Every morning. You stop at the bakery, then the school, then the hospital." My heart skipped. "My wife." I stopped myself before correcting the sentence. "My late wife worked there. I still volunteer every Friday in the children's cancer ward." She nodded slowly. "I thought I recognized you." She began writing on the ticket, then suddenly paused. A tiny smile appeared on her face. "If you weren't married," she said with a playful grin, "I'd add my phone number instead of this ticket." For the first time in years, I actually laughed. "I'm not married." She looked confused. I gently touched the simple silver ring still resting on my finger. "My wife passed away 3 years ago. I just never found the courage to take this off." The officer's smile disappeared, replaced by genuine sympathy. "I'm so sorry." "Thank you." She quietly tore the citation from her notebook. Then, to my complete surprise, she ripped it straight down the middle. "I think a warning will do." "You don't have to." "I know." She glanced toward Emma. "I think she's already learned today's lesson." Emma nodded dramatically. "I'll never lose my homework again." The officer laughed. "I'll hold you to that." Before returning to her cruiser, she hesitated once more. "My name is Sarah." "I'm Daniel." She smiled warmly. I meant what I said. I couldn't help smiling back. So did I. She drove away, leaving me holding nothing but the shredded remains of what would have been a speeding ticket. Weeks passed. Life settled back into its familiar rhythm of work, school lunches, bedtime stories, and hospital volunteering. One rainy Friday afternoon, while delivering books to the pediatric ward, I heard a familiar voice behind me. "I thought I'd find you here." I turned around. Officer Sarah stood in civilian clothes carrying 2 large bags of stuffed animals. "What are you doing here?" "My little brother was treated here years ago." She looked around the hallway. "When he passed away, I promised I'd come back whenever I could." For a moment, neither of us spoke. Some losses create a language that doesn't need words. Emma came running down the hallway after finishing an art activity with the nurses. "Officer Sarah." Sarah knelt and accepted a huge hug. "I remembered your name." "I remembered yours too." Emma grinned mischievously. "Dad smiles more when you're here." I immediately felt my face turn red. "Emma." What? She asked innocently. Sarah laughed so hard she nearly dropped one of the stuffed bears. Over the next few months, our paths crossed again and again: community events, charity drives, school fundraisers, and hospital visits. What began with flashing lights and nervous silence slowly became shared coffee, long conversations, and easy laughter. One evening, as we watched Emma chase fireflies through the neighborhood park, Sarah gently reached for my hand. "I've been wondering something." "What is it?" "Have you ever thought about taking the ring off?" I looked down at the silver band. I used to think removing it meant forgetting my wife. And now? I smiled while watching my daughter laugh beneath the fading sunset. Now I think she'd want me to keep living. Sarah squeezed my hand. I think she would too. For the first time in 3 years, I carefully slipped the ring from my finger, not because love had ended, but because it had taught me that the heart can honor yesterday while still making room for tomorrow. Sometimes life changes because of a speeding ticket. Sometimes it changes because someone chooses kindness instead. And sometimes, the road you thought was leading to another ordinary day becomes the very path that leads you home.